So it's now taking off. Bye. It's now getting to the height that we set, 60 meters, and now it's going to go to the start point. And remember, because we've got the real-time terrain follow, it's going to keep that distance 60 meters above the trees and anything else that it sees. It's now getting in position. Right. It's now flying backwards. It's taking pictures of all those vehicles. That's what I wanted.
And this is an interesting observation. You will remember that in the flight planning section, we specified that we wanted the wide angle camera. But what it looks like here is that it uses the wide angle camera as like an initial sweep, and then it switches into the various zoom cameras. It's interesting to note that on the map view, those AI detections, so those vehicles will come up in green, and you'll be able to see that when you switch from the camera view onto the map view, so you don't lose orientation. And in this interesting view, you can see the footprint of the camera, and then also lots of other dots that the aircraft is detecting, and then it sort of zooms in to take a picture of those vehicles. You'll note that in the bottom center of the screen where it says estimated time left, 2 minutes and 57 seconds, this actually just relates to the flight time. So just the flight time of the aircraft and not the amount of time it is taking to capture all of this detail. And what we're finding here is that because it's a road and there's lots of extra vehicles coming up on the road, the aircraft is just detecting those and sort of staying in place and taking pictures of those as well. And then if we have a look here, what we'll see is just the aircraft finishing that bit and then maneuvering back. That's great, that is. That was really cool. I've now jumped forward a minute or two just so that we can see how it's detecting people. And you can see there the orange little person icon above. That's me on the left and a walker on the right. And it's taking the pictures and it's recognizing all those other vehicles as well. So in this map view here, well, the remote controller view, that's me. You can see how it's just detecting things and how it's taking imagery of things. It's absolutely fantastic. And you can see here how the footprint is varying and it's just sweeping and it's moving from left to right. And all of this, you will note, I've got the cloud clicked. So this imagery will be uploading onto FlightHub 2. And that is going to be really cool. You'll see what it can do there. And now we're just sweeping again. The aircraft is moving along its path and it's detecting people and it's taking pictures of them. So from here now, what we're going to do is have a look at FlightHub 2 so you can see what the imagery looks like and how FlightHub 2 processes it. And what I'm going to do now is just press the pause button and then I'll press the return to home because I think it'll be another sort of 15 minutes or something like that because there is actually a lot of cars to detect. And that's one thing I've learned is that actually you want to set your thresholds quite high, maybe if you're looking for vehicles, particularly in a sort of town or city, because there's cars everywhere. Whereas if you're out in the open and you're thinking, I might only just detect 1 or 2 vehicles coming down this road in half an hour, then that might be your sort of threshold that you're looking at. But again, it's all about experimenting and for the tasks that you're doing in terms of your thresholds, and your confidence levels as well. So the drone's just going to land back now on my useful landing pad. And we're going to go back in and I'll show you on the computer what the imagery looks like and how FlightHub 2 processes it.